Potty training is easier and less stressful if you have a plan. Family members will usually tell you, just sit your toddler in the potty. And I just sat there forever watching my child on the potty and waited for him or her to poop or pee. And it was so exhausting. That is not the plan. If you want to potty train your toddler and have no idea where to start, this video is for you. If you're new to my channel, my name is Gabrielle. I offer advice for mothers who want to achieve motherhood bliss. I recently made a video about potty training, and I'm very excited to provide an easier video based on the questions that I have received. When potty training time comes by, many people start offering us unwanted advice most of the time, but they don't offer us a plan. The first step towards successful potty training is knowing when to start. Most children will be ready to potty train between the ages of 18 months to 3 years old. And some children will show signs of readiness. I talked about that in my previous video. But actually some won't. You will have to take the lead in that case. But your child definitely has to show signs of being more independent. I do not recommend trying to potty train a child that can't walk on her own yet. And yes, the earlier you potty train your child is best, but don't force it. Each child is different and you will have to be very patient. Also, don't let other people shame you or pressure you to potty train your child if you are not ready or if your child isn't ready. Potty training must be done at your and your child's own pace. The second step towards successful potty training is getting prepared. This means that you need to get all the essential must-haves for potty training. There will also be optional things that can help you during this time. I classify these things into 3 categories. There are things that you will need at home for potty training. There will also be things that you will need to carry in your diaper bag. And also, correct mindset is crucial for success. The basics that you will need at home are a potty seat, preferably one that looks like a real potty. I recommend the My Size Potty by Summer Infant, and there are several versions of it. One of my favorites is the one that includes a detachable potty seat that you can carry with. You will also need to purchase underwear, and some parents like to do a little ritual with their kids in choosing the underwear to get them excited about potty training. My children weren't into that, but every child is different, so you can try it. I prefer underwear that is extra thick, made of fabric that is a little thicker to deal with small potty training accidents, like Gerber's training pants and other ones that I will place on the links below and in my Amazon influencer shop. The other thing that you will need are wipes, preferably flushable wipes, but remember that in some states and in some cities, you will not be able to flush any kind of wipes. So check your local laws. The basics that you must carry in your diaper bag are a travel potty seat, preferably. You can also opt to just have a detachable potty seat that you can place on top of public bathrooms for when you're out and about. You will also need to carry wipes and at least 1 or 2 changes of clothes, and that includes shoes. Because if your child has an accident, you will need that immediately. And also carry some bags to place the soiled clothes so that you can put them in the wash as soon as you get home. All these products that you will need for potty training, I have placed in an idea board in my Amazon influencer page. The link is below in the description, so you can check it out. Also, if you want to read more on how to potty train your child, I believe the best book is Oh Crap Potty Training. I talked about it in my previous video, and you can get that book for free with an Amazon Audible Trial. I also placed the link in the description. What time of the year is best for potty training? Some people say that it's best to potty train during warm weather, and I agree in the sense that outings on day 3 with your child will be easier, especially if you don't have to deal with a ton of snow outside. But in my case, I did it in winter. I literally potty trained them both on a January, and I'm in South Dakota. Of course, there was no blizzard outside during those days. I made sure that the weather was friendly enough to potty train. And indoors, they were nice and warm and cozy, even though they were running around naked in the same room. But make sure that the clothing is easy to remove for all those frequent potty visits. And what if you're about to take a holiday soon? Well, that depends on how soon your holiday is going to be. The important thing is to have already established a potty training routine for at least a month or 2. And then when you fly to the beach or take that road trip, don't forget to take your travel potty kit. I especially recommend a travel potty kit by Potty Plus, which allows you to pull out that potty from the back of your car or from your diaper bag and place it on the floor so that your child can go potty anywhere. Soon after I potty trained my children, I went on a trip to Cancun. On the airplane, I did put on some pull-up diapers, and I was so scared that it would set back the potty training done so far, but it actually didn't. My son was so proud of being potty trained that he was willing to go to the potty where he knew he should go. But yes, by then I had already established a good potty training routine. And it took me around a month of him practicing going potty with that routine. Once we were in the hotel, I used my little travel potty that I could carry around in my diaper bag, and I placed it in the hotel bathroom so that he could go potty there every time he needed. He did not have to use the hotel bathroom, he just sat in his little travel potty. I will also place the link to that in the description and in the comments. Okay, so now you have all the tools and all the products, and now you're ready to start. The first thing that you need to do is to schedule 3 days for potty training. 2 of those days you will need to spend at home with your child. And I know it sounds a little challenging. You might feel like you're gonna get cabin fever, but remember, it is only 2 days to get your child potty trained. And the 3rd day is just to get your child ready to be out and about in the world to practice and establish a potty training routine. Those 3 special days, you will have to be in the right mindset. And it is okay to reschedule if for any reason you're not ready. But just like the book, Oh Crap, Potty Training, you do have to put on your big mama pants and do this at some point. Let's talk about day 1. What you do on day 1 is let your toddler run around in a room completely naked. Yes, your child will have to go commando. The purpose of doing this is so that you can observe the cues of when your child needs to go potty and to be able to guide or carry your child to the potty seat when that happens. There will be accidents, so it's preferable to do it in a room where there is no carpet. But even if there's carpet, that's okay. You can lay some mats down or something. In that room, you must have everything within reach. You have to designate an area where you will place the potty seat, and you can just use that day to spend quality time with your child while you observe the cues. Now, it's okay if for any reason you got distracted and your child goes pee or poop and you missed the cues. It happened to me, but when you're sitting there for a whole day, you will notice the cues. When you notice that your child is about to go potty, which usually is when they start touching their genitals or squatting, and some children even make funny faces. When that happens, guide your child to the potty and show them where to put their poo and their pee. Some parents like to reward their children with stars or a chart or even with candy. I did none of those. My children were not interested. All I did was praise them a lot once they went potty in the right place. So that's what this day is all about. You are showing your child where to place their poop and their pee. And if your child is ready, they will become receptive and start to do that. They will start to go towards the potty every time they want to poop or pee. It might take a few tries though, so be patient. You will have to guide your child towards the potty probably 2 or 3 times before they get it. If for any reason on day 1 you do not succeed, that's okay. You can try a 2nd day. Usually by the 2nd day, they absolutely get it. Let's talk about day number 2. On day number 2, your child might have already gotten the idea of where to place his or her poop, but they still need to practice. So it's pretty much the same as day number 1, this is practice time, but this time you add nighttime potty training. What does that mean? You have to wake up your child in the middle of the night and take them to go potty. If it works, great, but if it doesn't, that's okay. Sometimes when children are really sleepy, they won't understand what you want from them, but some children would get it right away. And actually, some children won't even need nighttime potty training. My daughter, the moment she got the idea of potty training, she was dry at night from then onwards. And I never woke her up in the middle of the night to go potty. I just made sure that she went potty before going to bed. And yes, you can use pull-ups at night just to prevent a nighttime accident from happening. Since we're talking about pull-ups, I must tell you, do not use pull-ups when you're potty training your child during the day, even though they were created for potty training your child. The truth is that children are very smart and they know it is a diaper. And personally, it never worked for me and it was a waste of time and money. It allowed my oldest child to continue to go potty in his pants for a very long time, and that is not good. In contrast, using underwear makes your child realize that he or she can no longer go potty in their pants. The uncomfortable feeling of wetness will make your child realize that it is no longer possible to continue going potty in his or her pants. So it will motivate them to place the poo and the pee in the right place. If you've had a successful potty training so far and your child has begun to place his or her poo in the right place, then you're ready for day number 3. If you haven't been successful, we will talk about that later in this video. Day number 3 is for outings, and you will start to experiment going out and about with your child. And you will place clothes on them, of course. Try to take 2 or 3 small trips somewhere nearby where you feel comfortable taking your child to the bathroom. It could be visiting a family member, going to the gym, or going somewhere where you know that you won't take long. During this day, you will also establish the foundations of a potty routine. Every time that you go out, you must take your child potty before leaving the house, upon arrival to the new place, before leaving that other place, and then again upon arrival to home. I know it sounds like a lot of work, but this foundation is essential to letting them know that they have to go to the bathroom often. When you're potty training your child, he or she is probably not 100% physically ready to hold his or her pee, at least not for long times, and practicing makes it better. So taking them to the bathroom often will help to avoid accidents. How many times should you take your child to the bathroom every day? Usually you should do it as soon as they wake up, after every meal, and when you go out, just as I indicated. And yes, I know it is a lot of work, but just know that you are succeeding at potty training your child. The fact that your child already knows where to put his or her pee is a huge win. So you are doing great, Mama. You can do this. And there will come a day in which you no longer have to think about pooing or peeing or taking them potty. And it is okay if one day you forget to take your child potty before leaving the house or upon arrival to the new place. It happens, and there will be sometimes accidents, but the accidents become less and less. So how do you deal with those accidents? It is very important to not say it's okay. I know this is controversial, but it actually makes a lot of sense. When you tell your child that it's okay to have an accident, your child will say, oh, okay, so I don't have to do this. And they will continue having accidents. It is also important to not tell your child that it's not okay in a very aggressive way, because then you will start a challenge. You will start a fight with your baby or your toddler, and that is never good. You can't force this. You can't make your child do this by force. So you have to be very firm and gentle. What I would tell my children when they had a little accident is I would come down to their level and speak to them very softly but very firmly and say, honey, it's not okay to poo or pee in your pants anymore. You're a big boy or a big girl. This is not acceptable, but I believe in you. I know you can do this. I have taught you where to place your pee and your poo. So next time, just place your poo and your pee where it goes. So in a way, you're combining praise with a firm disapproval of unacceptable behavior. My daughter got it right away. My son, it took a couple of little talks like that for him to realize that he could no longer go poo and pee in his pants. But it worked. So if these 2 days of potty training have been successful, and now you're able to take your child out and about, and you're establishing a potty routine, congratulations, you're on your path to having a fully potty trained toddler. Why am I saying that your child is not fully potty trained yet? Well, he or she actually is, But just like any acquired knowledge, it takes practice. It will probably be around 6 months before you stop thinking about taking your child to the potty. The more independent that your child is, the sooner you will no longer have to worry about taking him or her to the bathroom. Also, remember that your child will not be able to wipe his or her own butt for a while. That is completely normal. You will still have to wipe their butt clean, but do try to show them every single time that you go how to wipe their own butt with paper. It won't be perfect at first, and you'll probably get their hands dirty, so make sure to wash them very well every time. But I promise you, you will get there. My daughter started going on her own without me having to cue her every single time. She was fully potty trained at 2 years old. My son was older. I potty trained him when he was 3.5 years old. I delayed the potty training because I had no idea where to start. Like I said, I had no plan. All I had were people telling me, just sit him on the potty. And yes, that did not work. It wasn't until I ran into the book, Oh Crap Potty Training, that I found the perfect way to potty train. And it worked so well that I potty trained both of my children at the same time. In response to many of your questions that I have received, I have also added a little section to this video about dealing with setbacks. I dealt with some of these setbacks myself. The first one is you did not have a successful 2 days of potty training. That could possibly mean that your child is not ready, and that's completely okay. I tried potty training my daughter when she was only 18 months old. She was showing signs of readiness and was interested in potty training. She did awesome the first 2 weeks, but then she decided she didn't want to deal with that anymore. And it was very disappointed, but I was like, okay, let's take a break. And yes, I didn't try again until she was ready and showed signs that she wanted to do it again. And after that, I was successful and we both never looked back. How long should you wait between failed potty training attempts? It's usually recommended to be at least 2 weeks to a month afterwards. If you try too soon, your child might start to develop a resistance towards potty training, and that is never good. In my case, I waited 6 months. I had some personal circumstances that also made it impossible to try sooner. But since my daughter was still pretty young, I knew I had the time. My son was potty trained on the first attempt, but then again, he was older. He was 3.5 years old and actually was getting a little bit past the ideal potty training window. So it's best to try to do it sooner than later or somewhere in between. Another setback that often shows up is when your child refuses to let go of their poop. I don't understand why this happens, but children are attached to their poops and they are afraid of parting with it. Some children will even become constipated while potty training because they don't want to let go of their poop. They will hold it and hold it and hold it until night when you put on the diaper before bed and boop, that's when it happens. This is very frustrating for most of us mothers. So what I recommend to avoid that from happening is to make sure that your child is eating fiber-rich foods and drinking lots of water to keep their poop from getting too hard. This will also make it almost impossible for your child to hold their poop. So when that poop starts coming, you can carry your child to the potty, and once your child realizes that they pooped in the right place and you praise them or reward them in some way, they will feel better about parting with their poop. I know this all sounds very strange, but I've heard this complaint many times about moms that are potty training their children and their kids will not let go of their poop. Constipation is a bit dangerous in young children. So if after the second day of trying to potty train, your child becomes very constipated, please consult your pediatrician and he or she will offer solutions to treat that problem. But ideally, it shouldn't happen if your child is drinking plenty of water and plenty of fiber. I recommend feeding your child plenty of fruit during this potty training time. If you have any other questions, or setbacks or challenges that you have faced during potty training your child, please place a comment below. I am happy to help. I truly recommend that you check out the book, Oh Crap, Potty Training. I know as moms, we are super busy and probably have no time to read. That's why I also recommend getting an Audible Trial so that you can get the Oh Crap Potty Training book for free in the links in the description and in my comments. Thanks again to all those of you who have been watching my videos and subscribing. If you haven't watched my first video on potty training, you can watch it next.